Hello and welcome to this Functional Skills ICT Level 2 tutorial, and we're going to be looking at mail merge today. So we're using the City and Guilds Sample 2 mock exam, which you can find on the City and Guilds website, and in particular we're looking at task 7. So the club secretary needs to send a mail merge letter about the hip hop beginner classes with spaces available. Download the files you've been given. Use the files letter and dance image to complete the letter. Format the club name and address at the top of the letter so that it stands out. Insert the image at the top of the letter, right aligned. Insert a scissor symbol and dotted line to indicate a tear off slip at the bottom of the page. Insert a table with 5 rows and 2 columns in the tear off slip. In the first column, add the row headings exactly as shown, so full name, address, postcode, contact number, date and time. Produce the unmerged letter showing all of the merge fields and make sure the letter is clear, easy to read and has no errors. Paste a screenshot showing all of the letter into the evidence document provided and use the contact list to complete the merge. Paste a screenshot of each of the merged letters into the evidence document provided and then upload the completed evidence document using this blue button at the side here. The first thing we need to do is to create our own little mock exam folder, which if you've not done any of the other tutorials you won't have yet. In this instance I've already created one, but what you would do is just right click on your desktop, go down to new and then select folder, and then within that folder do the same again, so right click, go down to new and select folder, and we're going to call this one task 7. As you can see, task 6 has already been completed. Okay, now we need to go back to the question and start downloading all of the documents that we need. So click on the evidence document, make sure you select save as, so don't just press save, press on the little arrow and go for save as, because you need to find where your document is. So in particular with this one, you just need to click into your task 7 document and then save your file. So I'm going to rename it as task 7 evidence document and close that little message. You'll also notice with this next one that this opens up in a browser window, so it's not actually downloading anything, so you need to just right click on the picture, save picture as, and hopefully it'll automatically come up with your folder that you need, but if not, just find your desktop on the left hand side of your window and search for your mock exam folder and then your task 7 folder. So we're just going to rename this one photo for now and save that. And we've got the letter that we need to download, so again that comes up at the bottom. Same again, go and save as, find your file, we're already on it, and just name it letter and close that. And then the next bit is your contact list, so we'll open that up. Again, that's another one that's opened up in a browser window, so if you've not done task 6 yet you won't be familiar with this, but what you need to do is to highlight all of that information, and we need to get it onto a document so that we can actually use it. So back into your task 7 folder, just right click and go on new and then select new text document. There we go. We're going to call this one contact list. Okay, and open that up and then just paste your information in there. So just right click and paste, or you can just do Control and V, which is what I just did, a little shortcut to get it into there. Okay, so we don't need that right this second, so we can close that down. We can close it down from the browser window as well, so we've just got this. So what we're going to need to do now is to open up your letter, because we're going to start working on that now. Okay, so now that the letter's open, we need to just have a look back at the question. So it wants us to format the club name and address at the top of the letter so that it stands out. and we need to insert the image at the top of the letter right aligned. So we shall do that to start off with. So if we select or highlight always dancing, because I'm going to use a WordArt for that, so it's a good opportunity to show what you can do with Word and what you can do with the program. So that's what the IT exam is all about, really. It's just showcasing what you can do. So even if it's something that it's not asking you to specifically do, it's good to sort of do that extra little bit just to show off, really. So if you look at the top of the page, you've got insert. Click on insert, and then across here we've got WordArt on the toolbar, so select that and then just pick one. I'll go for that one, the gold one. Okay, I'm going to change the font size to 20. As you can see, that's added in there now. The font that was used there was Impact, so I'm going to change the address to be the same font just so it all matches up. Might make it a little bit bigger as well, so you can do that all with these font tools in the main menu toolbar at the top. So just make it a little bit bigger. Great, so I'm quite happy with that. It's all formatted the right way, looking fairly decent. So now we need to insert the picture. I'm just going to click on always dancing again towards the end, just so the cursor's at the end of it. I'm going to click on the insert tab, and we're going to select picture this time. What you need to do is find your desktop on here and find your mock exam folder, and then go into task 7, then go on to photo. Double click that. So as you can see, the photo is quite big at the minute. So if you go and left click and hold on the bottom corner, bottom right corner, and then drag it, you can resize your picture like so. What we're going to do now that it's there, we're going to click on position. You can see here it says with text wrapping. There's one here where it's position in the top right with square text wrapping, so we're going to use that one. So select that, and pretty much done the job for us, which is good. So then if we look on the question again, the next part is to insert a scissor symbol and dotted line to indicate a tear off slip at the bottom of the page. What I would do first though is, we've already read all of this and we do know that we've got to make sure the letter is clear, easy to read, and it's not got any errors. So we'll do that first and tidy it up before we start adding all these little bits. So we'll get rid of that big gap. There is actually 2 spaces in between beginners and please, so we'll just delete one of them. And then information spelt incorrectly. And so it's deposit at the bottom there. It needs to be an E, not an I. You could have just used spell checker to do that, but just wanted to be quick with it. Okay, so errors are all gone now. It's looking relatively decent. So we need to insert the tear off slip, and we'll start off by adding the scissors symbol. So if we pick where club secretary is at the end, just press enter a couple of times, move your cursor down. We're going to go back onto the insert tab. So if we click on insert again, and you see symbols over the side there, it is already on my recently used, but it might not be on yours. So click on more symbols. Make sure windings is selected in the font, so you can type that in and it'll come up with this. And then as you can see, there's a pair of scissors there. You can click on that, or you can double click and it'll add it in, or you can just click and then press insert. So we'll close that. So we've got our scissors in. You might want to make them slightly bigger. If you do, just left click and highlight it, and then go on your home tab at the top there, and then you can just alter the size. You can even make it bold if you want. You can do all sorts with it. Make it italics. Don't want to do that. Anyway, so the next part is to insert a dotted line. So if we go on insert again and go on shapes, and then you'll see there's lines there. So what we can do is, what I'd recommend doing is holding your shift button down, because that will keep your line straight. As you can see, it's not changing, well, unless I go so far, but it's keeping it as a perfectly straight diagonal line or perfectly straight horizontal line. So if you go all the way to the edge like so, that's now on your screen. The only problem we've got with it is that it's not a dotted line. So what we need to do now is, your line should still be selected, so just right click on the line, and you'll see at the bottom here it says Format Auto Shape. Click on that and you'll be able to change how it looks. So you'll see here in this window it says dashed. At the minute it's just a full straight line. We click on the little drop down box that gives you all the different little options that you can use. So I'm just going to use the dash dot one. So press OK. There we go. So we've got the scissors on and the dotted lines. You can use whichever one you want, really. It's just one that I wanted to use in this particular example. So we've got the tear off slip at the bottom of the letter, and what we need to do now then is to insert insert a table with 5 rows and 2 columns within that tear off slip. So if we just press enter again a few times, just so we can insert a table in. So again, you guessed it, go on insert at the top of the page and you'll see there's one for table. Click on there. It brings up a little window that's got like a grid on, and you'll see as you move your cursor around on this grid, it's sort of drawing it on your screen, and it's sort of highlighting them yellow in the little box there. So what we need is 5 rows and 2 columns. So you'll see at the top there it says 2 by 5 at the top of that little window. We've got everything highlighted what we want, and it looks okay on the actual letter as well. So once we're there, just press your button and it'll add it into your letter. Okay, so the next bit was to in the first column add these row headings exactly as they're shown there. So full name, address, postcode, contact number, day and time. So it was full name, address, postcode, contact number, and day and time. So contact number, day and time. Excellent. So letter's looking pretty decent now. And now it's just saying to produce the unmerged letter showing all of the merged fields. So these are merged fields, or they're markers for the merged fields. The markers because they're in brackets, and it's just indicating that that's where we need to be adding the merged fields. Now there are some merged fields that aren't on there at the moment, which we can have a look at the contact list. So if you go back into your folder for task 7 and then open up that contact list, you'll see along here we've got title, last name, first name, initial, address, etc, etc. These are all your merge fields that you're going to be using once you've imported this data into the Word document. So you'll see on the letter we've got all of the people's information and what it's relevant to, but we don't have class style or class type anywhere on this letter. So what you need to do is just replace hip hop with class style, and for where it says beginners, change that to class type. So then we've put the markers in for those 2 fields as well. Right, so we need to now paste a screenshot showing all of the letter into the evidence document provided. Okay, so we go back into the document, click on view, and then just underneath and to your right it says one page. Click on that and it'll show all your page. So now we need to just paste a screenshot of that into the evidence document. So on your keyboard, press the print screen button and then open up your evidence document. Just select underneath there, and then you can just right click and paste, and that's into there. Now what I would do is just tidy up the evidence document a little bit, just deleting those gaps. Great stuff. So next part then is to use the contact list to complete the merge. Okay, so this is where we're importing the data. So I'll just close that text document down that had the data on. We need to go onto mailings. Click on mailings and then click on select recipients, and then you'll see there's the option for use existing list. So we need that one because we have already got a list. So we click on that, and then it's just a case of looking for your folder. So click on desktop, go in sample mock. That's 7, contact list, and that's now imported all of the data that we need into the document there. Right, so if you go on to insert merge field, you'll see a list of all of the different file types that you need, all the merge field types that you need. So highlight title and insert merge field. So just click on title. Now at this point you may have had a window come up before you did this actually, which is just asking you about merge field, how you would separate the data. All you need is on the, I think it says delimiter, just make sure it says comma, and then press OK, and then you'll be able to do this. But it's not come up on this occasion. I think it's because I've already done it previously, so Word's sort of remembered what I've selected previously. So we'll get back to doing this. Basically we just need to replace all of these with the merge field. So highlight initial, insert merge field, we'll go to initial, and then do the same for last name. It might mess your stuff up a little bit, so you might have to resize your image slightly just to get the last name on, and then got to keep making sure that the layout is correct once you've added them in. So I keep having to press enter once I've inserted them. Go on to postcode, first name, your class style, space, and class type, and put the comma back in and a space. Okay, so that's everything. All of the markers have now been replaced with the actual merge fields, and that was basically that's just sort of linking it to the data from the contact list that we'd imported, where I showed you earlier where the title, etc., is listed along the top. That's where it's got that information. I'll have a look at that now actually, just so you can see. So now we've imported the data, it's recognised that as a title and created as a merge field. Same with that, same with that, same with that, same with that, and so on and so on. And what it's going to do, which we'll see in a minute, is it's going to replace the word title with miss, or miss. Then it's going to replace the last names and the first names, etc. And we'll be able to see that in a second. So this is quite useful if you had a huge list of people that you wanted to send a letter out to, and you've already got quite a big contact list put together. Let's say you've got a couple of hundred contact details that you want to send this letter out to. You would, rather than inputting the person's details into the letter individually, it's quite a bit of a shortcut really. You just import the data and then get it up and running like that. So what we need to do now then is to click on preview results, and as you'll see, it's replaced the merge fields with the actual details of Miss Joan Brayford from 41 Parkway Road in Leeds. I wonder if that's a real place. Don't go knocking on the doors if it is. So now we've done that, it's just literally a case of doing screen prints for each one and pasting those into your evidence document. So we shall do the screen print for Joan, paste that one into the evidence document. Then if you see at the top here, you can cycle through different letters. So if we go on for page 2, we've got Miss Vicky Brumpton. So again, print screen and paste into your evidence document. And final one, print screen and paste into your evidence document. So then just save that. That's everything you need to do. So save that, close it down, save your letter, close that down, and you now have to upload your evidence document. So you don't actually have to upload the letter itself, just the evidence document. So you do that by clicking on the blue button there. Ordinarily a window would come up where you just click on another little upload button, and then you'd go and search for your file or your evidence document that you're uploading, select the evidence document, and then it will have uploaded then. So it won't do it on this because it's a mock exam, but it's really important that you close down, save and close your documents before trying to upload them. If your document is still open, it won't upload it properly. You'll think that it has done, but it hasn't. So you could have done the best mail merge and the best letter in the world, but you'll have failed because it's not uploaded properly. So it's quite a big task, this one, and it's worth 15 marks, so it's quite a big chunk of the actual exam. But from what we've done today, should certainly get the vast majority, if not all, of your marks for that section. So thank you very much. I hope it's been useful, and good luck with your exam.